and I know we maybe think, but I mean, I available and money that will be available hard presenting to us, and I don't know any of the citizens that, I mean, I'm giving them my info
related to managing organizations. You can't fix issues unless you bring them into the light and surface them to make them better, and that's what the role of management is.
Right. I mean, nothing here has been said tonight that's tried to be derogatory towards any of you and the job you're doing. Back to it again, but that's a major problem to me up there.
Agree. Yeah.
Because she might be careful, but it's these other people.
We know.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We're going to drive 10 miles over the speed limit.
Yeah, I've had that happen.
Yeah.
You still can't stop walking.
I kind of drive
Somebody driving under the speed limit.
speed
Right.
limit, and you see all this open space.
Yeah, that drives me nuts. I've been on the back, talking on the phone. Yeah. Yeah. Well, you know what we ought to do is we ought to, Maryland ought to spend the money to an exit, do a service road, and have it dump it right in the state line and dump into a Delaware local road.
How can we get this meeting back?
We got those two bond bills for Caroline, they were $325. Okay. And now what I'll do is I'll get Milton. And I'll get Milton to say something. Yeah. I mean, in fact, it's a traffic. Say that again.
If all the side conversation, you have to speak up. I think I don't know.
Good evening, Commissioners. I've got two items for you for this evening for your hopeful approval and signature.
Donations to the hallway, please.
For 2019 in an amount of $110,413, and we've got tentative approval, and I request your approval and signature on the security grant.
So you just need our make a motion for a signature on the grant application.
And I'll second it. All those in favor say aye. Aye.
And the second item is the county's get this plan updated for the next 5 years. Fund the 25% matching that the grant would need. And we're going to do that through in-kind services through our efforts with different department heads. It won't be cash, it'll be in-kind. It'll be staff hours.
Yep.
So I'm asking for that so we can continue forward with the grant application process.
So, so I make a motion for the, you call this?
Letter of commitment.
Letter of commitment for the FEMA's hazard mitigation.
And I'll second it. All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Thank you. I need to travel with a big scene.
If we could have just sneaked you in there,
I know.
or now you could be home by now.
I'd say it was fun.
Mike, I'm sorry.
I just wanted to thank Wayne for clearing out the room for me before I got all my exciting stuff.
Good evening.
How about that highway safety plan?
It's good, yeah. It'll be interesting to see how that works. All right, the first, this is a budgeted item that we had, budget $675. And we're doing this through a piggyback through Baltimore County's purchase order, so it's a cooperative agreement. As far as the purchase, in the amount of $161,000, I have $325 instead of $425 under intergovernmental cooperative procurement conditions for the Baltimore County purchase order. Any questions?
Say aye. Aye.
Thank you. The second of the Turner's Creek bulkhead out there, and the bulkhead runs along the one side of the ramp. Originally, what we were looking at doing was just doing the work to replace part of the concrete at the ramp that's affected by the new bulkhead. DNR looked at the project and suggested that they could provide additional funding so that we could do a full replacement of the boat ramp. So what we're requesting is approval and signature submit a Waterway Improvement Fund grant application, and this will be for fiscal year 2021. So the estimated cost there is $246,200. For approval of that motion, we need to get this submitted ASAP if you decide to approve it tonight so that they can get that funded for that schedule.
Approve.
And I'll second it. All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Thank you. The next item I have on the agenda is our fleet management. These are the final two lease quotes that we need approved to get our commitment that we had budgeted for this fiscal year. These are for vehicle grinder pumps. So we're looking for approval, the two lease quotes for that. And this fits into the budget amount that we were shooting with for
Approve.
And I'll second it. All those in favor say
funds. When we close out the FY19 budget year, we have to do adjustments we had some electrical costs, the reserve funds that we have in it. What happened was we have to do an inventory every year, and we drew down the inventory, pulling out grinder pumps and repair parts. And as a result, we come up short for $10,351 due to the reduction of that inventory, which has to be accounted for in the audit requirements. So it's a request for use of contingency funds in the amount of $10,351 to transfer to not being an accounting person. That's that. Thank you.
favor say aye. Aye.
All right, appreciate it. The fifth item I have on the agenda, we have, this is that would be new construction. What we do so that we can take those septic systems offline and get them into the public sewer, which was the purpose of the project. This would be a new and I have EDU allocation request. We provided a memorandum to state our conditions or our position on this in sticking with price policy.
So he was actually given one EDU house.
Yes. The house was already connected to septic system, but it had no sewer.
And it,
Typically, when you do that, you have to get an allocation because it's another dwelling unit. And what you're saying is that he would pay the price for half an EDU.
He wants us to waive the half because we're to assume.
We wouldn't.
we would have no knowledge of that.
And that's what the building permit process is how the department of Health capacity for it, and that sewage was probably 1995 for a porch from that the previous owner had, and there was never an intent to put an apartment in there.
Well,
Recommended request for the apartment, which is our standard operating procedure.
you said deny it?
Deny the appeal and require of the home request.
On the size of the apartment.
That is correct. Anyway, county owners. That's what their allocation schedule is. Yes.
3 bedrooms.
Then it's pretty much the full allocation. Because you typically an allocation gave a break to someone who had a small 1-bedroom apartment.
I make a recommendation to support staff, give them the half allocation, and charge them the appropriate fees.
Require them to submit.
City, as a result of the project approved,
Right.
and settle up on that as part of the condition of us releasing the building permit.
Okay.
So Bob made the motion.
I'll second it. All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Okay, thank you. The last item I have for you tonight is the lease purchase of the replacement sewer jetter truck that we had built into the budget. Purchased through this vehicle. We talked at the budget's First Midwest Equipment Finance for a 5-year interest rate, and this would be after the 5 years we would own it outright. And the rate of starting to pay the lease until the equipment is shipped. Lead time, we got $154,000 overall for the line item in terms of the purchase, and the cost we got is $149,687.50 for 2 weeks, so we can get that going.
So
It's been figured in terms of our funding as a lease. So this is how finance shows that line item.
what that is,
But your budget's structured for a lease payment, I think, so that's actually what's built into it. But it's based on that total amount that was budgeted.
roughly 67.
Trying to fine tune what we could do.
Well, I guess I'm still a little confused. Do we have, is 154,000 in our budget?
No, it's lease options, so we knew that going in. It wasn't budgeted into the FY20 budget.
Okay, I can't remember all of it.
There were a lot of details.
I was just adding the money, so we want this. This is the only way to do it.
This was the way to get it this year. Yeah.
So I make a motion to approve.
I'll second it. All those in favor say aye. Aye.
All right, that's all I had, gentlemen. Unless you have any questions. Thank you.
It is not uncommon program, and we do pay these interns a small amount, and they get credit for the work that they do in our county. Actually interview a few different interns who wanted to apply for this position. Applicant as listed on the Novus agenda item or approved.
Approve. It was picked.
And I'll second.
Action is it's a vacant position in the Parks and Rec Department, and this is a seasonal position in our after-school program. There was a vacancy for approval, and the county This is a position that will last it typically lasts throughout the school year.
Motion to approve.
And I'll second it. All those in favor say aye. Aye.
The final personnel action is occurring in the water wastewater department. If you remember, during the budget process, there were a few new positions that were recommended, which would basically be a promotion of one of our existing employees. And this particular position is the utilities supervisor position, and this is a rather mechanical and electrical position that was approved in the budget process. Interviews were held, and candidate
Say aye.
Department, it is not uncommon for us to have a student serve on our Economic Development Commission. This is one that is, just for the record, a non-vote.
Last EDC member from the college actually interned for me for about a year.
Oh, really?
So yeah,
That's excellent. Sure is, yeah, sure.
they do a pretty good job. They have a lot of input.
They do have a lot of
even though they're
input.
not voting members, they do have a lot of input in what goes on. So
Very valuable addition to the EDC.
make a motion to approve.
And I'll second it. All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Came in with regard to 2,000 these before, and in general, it's county policy to not approve a request unless it's staff error.
Purchased the property, and I have been waiting for an invoice owner, right? Did the bill go out and go to the record owner?
According to our files, all bills were sent on time and to the correct people. Their claim they did not receive.
Before they purchased the property. Date when they settled, but they probably settled sometime after the first, and then there was probably a time that passed between between when they settled and when the deed was recorded, and taxes are prorated
into the costs.
in the taxes to record the deed. And they said cover the period July to December 18. It would seem to me that that would have had to have been paid
That should have,
for the deed, and we're really talking about December to June. So this doesn't quite make, their request doesn't quite make sense, because I don't see how they could have gotten a deed recorded
If that hadn't been
without that
already
being
taken
paid.
care of.
Right.
I mean, when they settled in July, they should have had a credit for
2
whatever,
months or
well, no,
whatever,
for
July,
If
for
I don't know
August.
what day they settled in July. If it was July the 15th. They should have had a credit for 15 days
correct.
and paid the rest of the taxes for that year.
That's correct, because the clerk will not accept a deed for recording if the taxes aren't paid.
And-
So what should have happened was the taxes, if they weren't paid by the prior owner, they would be paid, and then the prior owner would reimburse for the 15 days.
I've been waiting for an invoice to be mailed to me because they're assuming that the taxes are paid January.
But you can pay until the end of September without penalty. But what I can't figure out is,
Why are they talking about?
if they settled in July, the clerk won't record a deed if there's outstanding taxes, so the taxes would have had to have been collected and paid.
Right.
But apparently they weren't, because they wouldn't be asking for this penalty, this waiver otherwise. The only thing I can think of is maybe sometimes if the bill,
That's right.
I mean, I'd never do a real estate collecting the arm's length deal, and so there was no settlement sheet, nothing was, let's say it was a transfer in a family, and nobody.
Was not a staff error, county staff error.
So the tax bill, at the time the tax bill was sent, it was sent to the record owner of the property at the address that was furnished to the Department of Assessments and Taxation.
Right.
Then consistent with county policy, we typically don't give any relief if it was not our error.
Right.
So without,
Information.
Right.
so
Typical letter that is
I think it's here.
sent after one of these actions. If you remember, we get these
The dog ate the
dog ate.
I would just maybe, I know we already have this drafted here, but we're supposed to sign it tonight.
All right.
Attorney to see if something was, that should have all been taken care of in settlement after July 1st. Isn't that right, Tom?
Does this thing have internet? I could
Searching that, we can go on to the
I
next
can do
item.
that right now.
So, and if you'll recall, this is actually, these three positions are governor appointments. The appointment is made by the governor upon recommendation of two members whose terms are due to expire.
So, where's
I guess there's each letter.
so it's actually three people?
Two are due to be reappointed.
Okay. You say these are appointed by the governor?
Correct.
Or
Upon recommendation from you.
from the commissioners? I don't know either one of them.
And if they've already been on there and there's no red flags, I'd make a motion to approve.
And in general, just FYI, the tax assessment folks, their input is considered in this process. So clearly they feel as though these people are fulfilling their
Garden Hen House again.
requirements.
Ox Garden Hen House. I've been to the appeals board, and my feeling was you waste your time because
The tax assessor's office then went to the appeal from an attorney, but a lot of people
That is the
probably,
process.
a lot of people give up and don't take it to tax court.
most people
but-
stop.
yeah.
They don't go to tax.
Right.
Right.
You're.
So I made a motion.
Oh, you made the motion.
There's two report out items. One is simply a response to the priorities letter from Secretary Ron, as good information. And the second item is a report out about a Kent Youth Soccer raffle only that was held on September 28th, 2019.
Okay.
Tom, do you have any further information?
I do.
Okay.
I do. I looked up the tax assessment in the transfer $4,000. So I don't understand the deed unless the taxes were paid.
And the requester has acknowledged that it is the ability of the
Taxes should have been paid. Maybe all the properties I bought, that's the way it's done. I mean, just,
yeah, I know, I don't understand.
as far as us,
The only way you don't have to pay if in 2 installments. They will let you do that. That's kind of a statewide procedure now. So the only thing I'm guessing is that settlement understand that they owe for that first installment, and then the tax bill is not going to go to them because the tax bill already went out before the transfer, because the tax bill went out the 1st of July. So have known that taxes were only collected for the first member to avoid penalty.
well, that should have
I'm
shown,
making assumptions here, but that's probably what happened.
should have shown up on their settlement sheet. And they didn't read it.
I would agree.
So,
So the staff recommendation is to deny.
would you make a motion for
I
that?
think just deny it would be my recommendation too, given this.
Make a motion to deny it. Have you already made that motion?
Do that.
Huh?
You're not allowed to tell me that.
You want to stay here?
No, you can't tell me what my recommendation is. I make a motion.
All right, I didn't say that. Take that off.
I make a motion to the recommendation.
All those in- Everybody, so, media review, do you have any questions? You can speak, it's all right, we're not, you're good.
I want to give you an invitation for 4 to 6. I'm the director of that environmental center. Been in business for about 9 years now. Last year we had about 3,000 kids come through our program, mostly from Kent County. It's all free of charge. We operate basically with grants. We have over 20 organizations, individuals, and volunteers that bring about a great program to teach children in county. We have a 3.5-acre garden and meadow, so that we give all our food that we're produced to the food bank. Our theme out there from K through 12, we call soil, they plant with seeds, they harvest it. We also help Kent County meet environmental literacy standards and next generation science standards. So on October 24th, what we want to do is recognize all the people that help facilitate our program. It's quite considerable. And to recognize that effort, they're all going to be out there standing next there. We get a tractor trailer load of mushroom mulch every year for Longview Farms. There's a great contribution from the community for this program. We want to remember Kent County School Board is coming out that to the volunteers, but to also really see the huge effort of the people in Kent County are bestowing upon our children.
You'll send the information. Okay.
But I did hear you mention we called it the Everett Farm.
Right.
And I had nothing to do with the purchase of that property.
Okay.
But what I'd like to tell you is that Guy Jones, I think he might have been in your class. I taught Guy. He helped Bobby with his homework. Guy Jones wanted carpentry class down to the wood, the cabinets, to walk so valuable.
But the biggest thing is Kent County lost the property taxes on this waterfront home. And the reason I know that's 7, so I knew it was sort of like, a loss of part of, I mean, this was his house.